Hey Sarah, I've looked over your lesson plan and have some feedback for you. So specifically looking at your lesson plan and at the rubric, I'll just go section by section. In the elements and presentation section, you did a great job. Everything is complete and well thought through. Prior content knowledge comes specifically from your previous lesson plan, so you know that it's accurate. And then the new content knowledge is nicely summarized here. So everything is complete, looks great. In the desired results section, I was glad to see that you really focused down into two specific evidence outcomes. One, working with peers to set rules, and two, identifying characteristics of literary genres. Um, on an additional note, I was glad to see a very close alignment with those in the lesson plan as well. Your essential questions for the content area are good because I feel like those are language arts specific. And your essential question for the global area is great because I feel like that's a question that people talk about in the real world. Your students will be able to as well done. You pulled chunks from the evidence outcome. You used the word by, and then you have an observable outcome on both of these sections. Your students will understand as well done because it is closely aligned. So desired results looking great. The assessments, I'm not necessarily grading those yet. I'm checking for alignment and completion. But that being said, yours look great. That not only are they aligned and complete, but I feel like they also work very well for the students in the summative assessment area and work well for giving you some feedback in the formative assessment area. So your assessment section is also well done. Moving into the learning plan. Okay. I like the fact that your hook gets them going on technology right away and allows them to answer questions about themselves, which makes it very, likely that they will have an answer to your question. And so I like the fact that you have that. And then I love the fact that you say this too, that you're not alone in the way you're feeling about these plays. We've talked about that kind of a feeling before, just feeling stupid like everyone else is getting it. And this is one of those intentional pieces that you have that works towards not having that kind of a piece in class. I appreciate your thought towards modifications on the side. Excuse me, those wouldn't be modifications, accommodations as well. So you ask them to recall what you were doing in the last class. And doing something like that once or twice doesn't do much for the culture, but continually asking them to recall what you did in the last class demonstrates that you believe they can, that you trust that they will, and that you expect them to recollect what's been going on in class before. And so, over a prolonged period of time, that kind of a tactic can really speak well to the students. Okay, so looking at structure, so here we move into specific alignment with the evidence outcomes. And I love the fact that you've got some manipulatives working in there, using the puzzle and putting those pieces together. So that way the information becomes both visual for them as well as, as well as just being one of those abstract nouns as structure too. I like this note too because you wanted them to access their background knowledge of Freytag's pyramid and knowing that some students may struggle, and so that you would need to remind them of that. Very well done there. Okay. So then you have them sort and own this information. Then you have them apply this information. Very Bloom's taxonomy of you. I like it. And then here and then here you give them this little mini formative assessment, right? Here's the information, apply the information, now show me that you can do it, right? Go to Act 2, Scene 3 and watch for the kids who kind of struggle with that. And I like that you have them looking around in their book club too to make sure that to really drive home that piece where they can use each other for some help. Okay? Reminding them about how we read the structure of a play in a really specific direct instruction way, I think is also well done. I love the time. I love the fact that you're giving the kids time to read in class. I think that's really essential with Shakespeare so that they can read it while you're right there in case they have questions. And I also love that you're telling them like this is what strong readers do. Like stop every once in a while to do this, think about these pieces, looking up words, stuff like that. I like that you have those reminders on the board so that when kids say, I don't get what's going on this page, you can say, okay, which strategy have you been using? And it's just a beautiful reminder so that you're not having to reteach every kid every time. You can just point to the board and ask them which strategy. So super fantastic, just really well done. Um, and your closure, I mean, is just basic, so we're running out of time. And then the exit ticket, doing a prediction, it's really well played because they just finished reading the first act. And so what do you think's going to happen henceforth? Just fantastic job on this lesson plan. Thanks, Sarah.